Hello, I'm Larry, he's Billy, and this is Carter's Country. Next in our series of gun cleaning basics videos, we've done a SIG just to kind of give you a general breakdown for most polymer guns. We've done a 1911.
Right.
We're doing a Glock this time because Glock is, who doesn't own a Glock at this point in time?
Right.
And so this
Exactly.
video will be specific to a Glock. This is a Glock 19 we've got here. And one thing about Glocks, the way one Glock breaks down is the way all Glocks break down, which is honestly one of their strengths. If you've seen one, you've seen them all, you know what you got. I'm going to turn this over to you, let you give this thing a good cleaning, and see kind of anything we need to learn that we don't already know.
Okay. Well, first off, as always, with dealing with firearms in general, we want to be sure the gun is completely safe. And so we will take the slide and we'll lock the slide back. And then at that point in time, if there's a magazine inside the gun, we'll take the magazine out. Then we'll visually inspect the barrel itself to be sure there's nothing inside the chamber. So we know now at this point in time the gun's completely safe and ready to operate on.
Yeah, because when you're cleaning a gun and disassembling and reassembling, I promise you're going to forget at some point which direction that thing's pointing. So even though making sure a gun's unloaded 100% of the time, when you're doing anything with it, it's especially important in an operation like this.
Correct. Double check and triple check.
Yeah.
Safety is very simple.
Yeah.
So we've already ascertained that the gun is completely unloaded and safe at this point in time. So basic disassembly of the Glock, like Larry mentioned earlier, all Glocks are essentially the same. There's really no difference in taking apart any of them. So with the slide back, you would release the slide forward. We're going to be sure the gun's pointing in the right direction, the safe direction. We're going to dry fire the gun. We're going to push back slightly on top of the slide. We're going to push this knob and this knob down at the same time. So push back slightly. Everything comes off the front. You have the basic frame assembly. This is your recoil spring. This is your barrel. Slides out the top. And this is your slide. There are 4 basic components of the gun. Anything past this point, as far as taking anything out of the frame and or slide, would be really recommended you take it to a good qualified gunsmith to do anything like that.
You don't have to tell me twice, because the last thing I want to do is take my gun to a gunsmith for work and have the gun be in a bag in multiple parts. Personal experience, gunsmiths get a little snarky when you bring in a disassembled pistol in parts, and they know what's happened. No matter what lie you tell, they know what happened.
Even though some your brother did it for you.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with the barrel itself. And the way we always normally do the barrel, we're going to take an actual patch. We're going to put it on top of this brush. And by the way, just for your wives still out there that phosphor bronze brushes are bad for gun barrels is a complete hoax.
Fake news.
Fake news. Phosphor bronze is much, much softer than the actual metal inside your barrel there. So there's really no way that the actual phosphor bronze can actually, harm your barrel in any way, shape, or form. So I told them to take a patch, put it on here. We'll put some solvent or some, clean type material on the patch itself. Then we'll take the barrel and we'll push straight forward through it. We typically always push from the actual muzzle, from the actual action in through the muzzle of the actual barrel itself.
Same path the bullet would travel, basically.
Correct, sir. Then we take that patch off of there, which you can tell is pretty dirty by now. We pull this here. We're going to put a little bit more oil on the brush itself. We're going to run it down through the barrel a few times. Here again, you do this as much as you want. There really cannot be too clean or can't be too dirty. It's kind of depends upon what your idea of all that stuff is. At that point in time, I would take another patch and actually just run through with a clean patch. And we'll run it here again through the barrel itself to see how much residue is in the left and very little of any. And so that will come back out. And then we'll take the same patch, turn it around, and put it back on here. Put some fresh lubrication on.
Getting the most for your money, they're double patches.
Absolutely. My dad would be proud.
Yes, he would.
And so at this point, we'll run that lubricated patch to the barrel. And so what you're doing basically at that point in time, you're just leaving some actual preservative inside the barrel, rust preventive material inside the barrel.
If it turns out to be a safe queen, it never hits the range much.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it. You've got
Correct,
a little bit of oil in there. Perfect.
And you can, run more patches and more brushes down the barrel until it comes out cleaning to your actual specifications.
Right,
or
there's
whatever.
not a right or wrong number. As long as
No.
once it's clean, you're good.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, the recoil spring, not a whole lot you can do with the recoil spring, except maybe you may just kind of wipe it down just a little bit on the outside. The slide itself, we take kind of an old toothbrush or whatever and kind of go through the interior of the thing, kind of wipe it down, strip it up. We've got grease points in here, which we'll go over in just a moment. We'll give it a little shot of rim oil from both ends. And it's pretty critical on semi-automatics to use grease in these slides, because what happens with grease, it won't melt off like oil will. Oil will melt whenever and disappear whenever the gun gets hot and gets shot a lot. So that pretty much wraps that up. There's really not a whole lot you can wipe off this frame itself. It looks pretty clean at the moment. You may take a little brush like we did the other side, make a little spot here and there, but it looks pretty good at the moment.
Just trust your vision and clean if you looks
Right.
like it needs. Okay.
Okay, as far as reassembly the gun, we'll start with the slide. We'll put the barrel back in. We'll pull it back to stops in place here. Again, you've got a flat spot right here that your recoil spring has to butt up against. So there's only one way this can go back in. You push it in there and get it started. And you'll bring that spring back. Here again, don't point it at your friends or anything like that. Okay, it's got to be kind of a straight line across there. And then everything is where it needs to be. At this point in time, you turn this right side up. You have the 4 points of contact. We've already put the grease in the slide areas. Slide this back. At this point, push straight through, and the gun is now operational again. One quick thing we want to add is be sure that, like on your tritium sights, that you don't get any gun oil or grease inside those. That will void the warranty on the tritium sights. And also be sure that you don't have any grease or oil on the grip area, because then the gun will become slick, and you don't want to be sure you have complete control of the gun while you're firing it.
Right. Just give it just give it all a good wipe down afterwards outside, and you're good to go.
Correct.
All right. Well, Billy, as the saying goes, if you clean one Glock, you cleaned them all. So
Yes, sir.
this video, no matter what your Glock model, this is what you need to know about giving a basic cleaning. Thank you for that. We appreciate you taking the time. And remember, if you've ever shopped, shot, or hunted with us, you're already a part of the Carter's Country family. Till next time, adios.
Adios.